Welcome to my National Podcast. Let's get into it. Today is Haunting Adeline Day. Let's get into it, baby. Oh, man. When we left off last on Haunting Adeline, Adeline is trying to get back into the normal world, and Zaid is helping her out with that. So the last time we left them off, they went to go get ice cream, and for some reason Adeline could not stop thinking about Zaid licking an ice cream. She was just like, yeah, he probably licked that ice cream like he licked his coochie. So, you know what I mean? There was a little spiciness going on there, but Adeline is just trying to get used to just ordinary life again, her relationship with Zaid, just because, you know, the bitch got trauma now. You know what I mean? Hey, she got trauma, and I see why, man. She got fucking kidnapped and almost trafficked and all this stuff, so we're going to be getting into that. We have chapters 25 and 26 today, so if you guys enjoy that. But before we get into Haunting Adeline, you know we got a thread for you. And boy, is this thread good. Oh, man. This one is, women, what is your worst nice guy experience? Oh, man. The nice guy experience. Here we go. I could give 20 examples off the top of my head where a nice guy encounter got shitty really quickly, but here's the one I like to remember most was the one genuinely nice one. I was sat in a bar/restaurant reading my book and waiting for my friend. Genuinely nice guy comes over. Hi, I'm sorry to interrupt your book. My name is, she says, genuinely nice guy. I guess you're probably waiting for someone, but I wondered if I could possibly buy you a drink in the meantime. She says, thank you. I am, she says her name. It's nice to meet you, but I already have a drink and a boyfriend, so I'd rather not if that's okay. The nice guy. Hey, no worries at all. He's a lucky guy. Shakes my hand. It was lovely to meet you. Have a great rest of your day. And then he disappears back to his table. My friend arrived. We had lunch, and other than a quick wave as he left the restaurant about 30 minutes later, that was the end. That was literally 10 years ago, and I still remember it because it was the one time I was approached in public where I did not feel awkward or scared or encroached upon. I mean, hey, all right. I mean, this was what is your worst nice guy experience, not your best one. So, all right. But I mean, it's okay. It's all right. We'll start off with a W. That's all right. No, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. All right. So, women, what is your worst nice guy experience? My kids were all best friends with a neighbor's kid who were the exact same ages. Their dad and I hung out since we were both stay at home parents. My tongue is all tied. One day he asked me if I want to see a photo he took, and I'm like, sure. Thinking it was a funny kid shot or whatever. It was a dick pic. Damn. A fucking dick pic. Bro, come on, man. Like what? Why? You could have asked her out to dinner, you know what I mean? But we'll see. No, what I think it was is he was probably just trying to get a little booty on the side. Yeah, he was like, how about, you cheat on your husband, I cheat on my wife, and we say nothing about it. Yeah, I mean, we have a little fun while we're home alone and our significant others are out working, you know what I mean? Just a little fun. Like, come on, nigga. You know what I mean? Hey, guess you got to shoot your shot out, All right. Okay, women, what is your worst nice guy experience? I've had multiple run-ins with nice guys, but one that really stands out to me happened when I was in my early teens. I started talking to him because his seat was across from mine in class, and he was easy to talk to. After about a week, he sent me multiple long Facebook poems about how I'm the most beautiful Asian girl he's ever met, and how meeting me has changed his life, not through a private message, but posted on my wall at the time. I knew that shit was wrong on multiple levels, but didn't really know why. So I kind of ignored how creepy it was altogether. So instead of private messaging, he posted it on your wall, and I guess that was like a red flag. I don't know. We'll see. I shot him a private message and told him in the best way I could that I didn't feel that way about him. Oh, poor guy. Oh, but I thought the poems were lovely and appreciated. He flipped out on me, accusing me of using him and leading him on, which actually guilted me into going on a date with him because I really did feel awful. The date was awkward. I couldn't get into it or him. We barely talked, and he would barely even look me in the eye. I told him the same night I didn't think we could be more than friends, and the next day he spread rumors about how I sucked his dick on the date, nigga. Oh my God. If you gotta lie, bro, that's just... Come on, man. If you gotta lie about getting some coochie, that's bad, bro. That's all bad. When I still wouldn't date him after those rumors had spread, he basically went on a Facebook rampage about how women are sluts that pass on nice guys like him constantly. Yeah, fun times. Nigga. Ay. That's ridiculous. Come on, bro. For real? For real? I get it, they're teenagers, but it's stupid because there's even grown ass dudes that be doing that shit, and it's like, nigga, why lie about it? Like, if you gotta lie about it, that's all bad. You're a failure. All right, on to our next one. Women, what was your worst nice guy experience? I met this guy online who offered to help me learn his native language. Every day I would send him journal entries and he would correct them for me. I offered to help him as well, but he said just chatting with me in English helped enough. A few weeks into this, he says that he's going to visit the city that I lived in and says we should meet. I tell him I'd rather we didn't because I have a boyfriend, which I had already mentioned many times. And I think he might be looking for a date. He insists that he only wants to meet his friends, but I tell him I am busy. Then, suddenly he calls me saying he has arrived and has brought some American chips for me. I had mentioned before that I really missed American chips. I agreed to meet him for coffee to find that he has brought me tons of gifts, including wine and wine glasses, I politely reject the gifts, but he insists that I must take them because his arms are sore from carrying them. I quickly have coffee with him, during which he tells me he must marry a white girl because the girls in his country are all shallow, and he wants his children to be powerful, and being half white would make them more powerful. What? Huh? This man say, hey, yo, I want my kids to be half white so they're powerful.
What did he say?
That's crazy. That is probably the most insane thing I've ever heard. Like, what? Okay. I am a white girl. I make an excuse to leave because I am uncomfortable. I text him to tell him that I don't think we should be friends anymore because I think he is looking for more and it makes me uncomfortable. He immediately threatens to hurt my family members. What? What the hell? Of whom he has the names of on Facebook. He also reminds me that he knows where I go to school. Terrified, I blocked him on all platforms. 4 years later, and he still makes attempts? Nigga! What the fuck to contact me via his mom and brother's cell phone numbers? Bro, what? 4 years later, and you're still trying to get at this nigga. Have some respect for yourself. Put some respect on your name. Because you sure ain't putting no respect on your name, man. What the fuck? Wow. You ain't putting no respect on your name, bruh. You out here just disrespecting yourself. Oh my, the disrespect for yourself is disgusting. Are you kidding me? Oh my God, bruh. That's crazy. 4 years later. That's wild. And she told you she had a man. What, you thought she was just gonna leave you? Or you just thought that she was gonna leave her man for you, Pajit? Like, come on, bruh. And I already know your bitch ass was Middle Eastern. I already fucking know, bro. I already know this nigga was Middle Eastern, bro, because there ain't nobody out here talking about, oh, I need to marry a white girl so my kids can be powerful. Nigga, you are crazy. That is wild, man. Get your ass out of here, man. Nah, that's wild to me. That is absolutely wild to me. I can't believe for 4 years, though. Damn. All right. Woo, on to our next one. Women, what is your worst nice guy story or experience? I had a class with a guy. We worked on a project together in my first year of uni. He then confided in me about some of his issues, and I felt really bad for him. He sat beside me in class and started messaging me every day, and it was honestly exhausting. I told him I had issues of my own, so I wasn't the best person to talk to, and he should seek out a counselor. She was just like, hey, nigga, I don't give a fuck about your problems. Like, let's keep this hundo P. She was like, I don't give a fuck about your problems, nigga. Like, you might want to go find somebody else to talk to. Let's just be straight. Over the next few years, he started coming up to me more in person in common areas of the campus. I'd politely tell him I had stuff to do and I'd rather work alone. So he'd sit beside me silently until I'd leave. I found him following me around campus on multiple occasions too. I started to realize I should probably limit messaging him back, even if it was to tell him to leave me alone. So I wasn't giving him something to hold on to. So I started outright ignoring his daily hellos as much as it made me feel bad. About a year later, in the year 4 class we took together, he kept turning around and staring at me. I swear every 30 seconds he did it so much that other people in the class started asking me about it. Then one day we were supposed to get up and pitch an idea for a video. He gets up there, pitches his idea, pulls up an image of my face. What?
Hey, yo, what the fuck?
And says, I want Ranchnad to play the lead part, as he clicks through a couple more slides of pictures of me stolen off of Facebook. This nigga, what? In front of the whole class, he is over here like giving a video idea, or he's pitching a video idea, and he's out here blasting old girl's face on the thing. That's crazy. That's fucking crazy. I was mortified. I'm a very quiet and shy student, so I had no idea what to do. I just sunk down in my seat and prayed no one looked at me. After that, a good guy friend of mine talked to the guy and told him how uncomfortable he was making me. He seemed to get the message after that, probably because it was another guy saying it. He never got outright aggressive, but this behavior was definitely upsetting to me. I even started to get scared when he was following me home. Nigga. Like, I know he was following you around campus, but he's following you home? Bruh. This man is just... The desperation is crazy. The desperation is crazy on this guy. Oh my God. That is ridiculous. So I never listened to music on the bus or on my walk. I did multiple I did on multiple instances tell him that I didn't want to talk. He was making me uncomfortable. I had a boyfriend, etc. But I should have just been mean. Yeah, I've been mean to send a clear message. I definitely could have handled it better, but I didn't want to be rude to him because he was clearly troubled. Yeah, but you should have just been straight up and been honest with him, because I think a lot of what you were doing is you were leaving too much for him to kind of hold on to, where you're just like, he's like, oh, you want to go hang out and do this? We could like work on our project. Oh, no, I'm busy. And then for him, he's just like, oh, okay, well, maybe we'll get it next time. And then you're like, yeah, sure. All right. And then you walk away, and that gives him, more reason to be like, oh, okay, cool. Next time. She said next time. Yeah. Because this is the type of guy who's just clinging on to fucking anything. Any little tiny thing that you give him, he's clinging to it. And so you kind of had to be like, yo, I'm getting uncomfortable with this. You had to be 100% straight with this guy. You know what I mean? And I just think you were kind of maybe giving him too much to kind of hold on to. And that's, I think, the reason why he was persistent in the way he was. I ain't gonna lie to you, he's creepy as hell. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna say what the nigga was doing was right or whatever, but again, you got to be just straight up with dudes sometimes and just say, look, man, I'm not interested in you at all. Sorry. Yeah, this right here, nah. I don't even want to be your friend because you're just making me that uncomfortable. And it's not mean to say that. It's just being honest. Like, hey, there's a saying that says the truth hurts. And that saying has been true for so fucking long, because guess what? It fucking hurts. But at least you're telling him the truth, You're not lying to the guy. And so, again, it's one of those things where it's just like, yeah, if this dude is doing all this stuff, you just tell him straight up. Just tell him straight up, instead of being like, oh, no, I'm busy. Oh, I can't. Oh, no thanks. You know what I mean? Because you're just giving him like, oh, he's like, okay, I didn't get her this time, but I'll get her next time, You're just leaving too much on the table for these guys. And these guys like him are just extremely desperate. They don't know how to catch a hint. They think that like, nah, she's not doing that. She cares so much about me. Nah, you know what I mean? So again, yeah, you should have just been straight up with that guy, because whoo, dude, for him to pull up pictures that he stole off your Facebook is crazy. That is psychopath behavior. Bro. God. All right. I'm going to do maybe two more, because a lot of you guys' stories are very long. Women, what is your worst nice guy experience? He stole my phone. Oh shit. He stole my phone to go through it 2 weeks after we started exclusively dating. Oh, so this guy at least got to date you. All the other guys didn't get to date. At least this guy actually got to date her. Okay. 2 weeks after we started exclusively dating. When I say stole, he didn't just swipe it off the table and go through it when I was cooking or shitting. He straight grabbed it and left my house. That's wild. That's wild. And girls don't shit. Okay. All right. Unicorns and rainbows come out of that hole. Nothing else. Okay. Let's keep that hundo P, ladies. All right. The hell we talking about here? Saying his sister needed help. That's crazy how he stole your phone. This nigga took your phone and went home. That's wild. I don't even know how he opened it. Like, how the hell did you unlock it? This was after a conversation that leaned towards, who are you talking to? Your other boyfriends? As I was talking to my stepdad about an upcoming flooring job we were going to do. Well, I can't find my phone. A few minutes later, I'm turning my house upside down and my roommate comes home from work. I call NG, okay, from his phone, ask if nice guy. Okay, makes sense. Okay, so I call nice guy from his phone, asked if he's seen it, and of course he hasn't. What does he do? does he do? Okay, I don't know what that. Okay, sure. Why come over and help me look for it? Of course. After 3 days, I'm considering it gone, so I buck up and buy a new one. Yo, he didn't even like, hey, yo, no, babe, I'll come over and help you find it. And then he's just like, oh shit, babe, look, I found it. It was over here. Like, you didn't even fake finding the phone, dog. You just let her believe that her phone was just lost to the third dimension, like a fucking guitar pick or something. Like, bro, what the fuck are you doing? Wow, he made this girl buy a whole new phone. Is crazy. Nice guy and I go to the beach. My roomie drops me off, and I had a broken foot at the time. Just off crutches, asshole drove his crotch rocket to the beach, and I had to ride home with the vibrations making me cry. We get to his house, surprise, my new phone is gone. Maybe it's at the beach. This nigga stole your phone again. Please don't tell me he stole your phone again. If this nigga stole her phone again, man. You guys know where the fuck it was? This motherfucker helped me look again. Even put up lost posters at the beach. No! Are you serious? This nigga stole your phone again? And then he sat there and was just like, let's make posters. Oh my God, bruh. This man is diabolical. He stole your phone, helped you look for it in your house, and was just like, well, it's gone. She goes and buys another phone. They go to the beach. This nigga steals the phone again and is just like, maybe it's at the beach. Let's make posters. Oh my God. Oh my God. Okay. His apartment complex. Okay. We even put up lost posters at the beach, his apartment complex, and the gas station we stopped at. Of course, nothing. No shit. Because he has the phone. So he's on his way over one evening, and I finally get the idea to track my phone. See if some asshole found it and is just not giving it back. My desktop shows my phone in my driveway. Oh! Are you stupid? Are you nigga, you have her phone on you? Oh my. Oh! If you're gonna be a fucking scumbag, at least be a good one. What the fuck, man? You have her phone on you? You could have at least left it at home. Oh my. Alright. She says, awesome. I run out to get it, and he's just pulled into the driveway. I am now incredibly suspicious and ask him to run and grab us some more beers. The second he pulls out of the driveway, I bust ass in the house, slamming my hip on the doorknob and leaving a nasty bruise, and check my computer. Sure enough, my phone is now at the corner store because this dumbass nigga's got his phone on you. On him. Bro! Oh my God. I confronted him in the driveway, jumped into his driver's seat as he got out, and started digging through his glove box saying, I knew he had it. Before I realized what's happening, he's trying to yank me out by my hair, and he got a big ass clump, but I wasn't letting go. He squeezes in the seat behind me. So I'm now wrapped around the steering wheel and standing in, by the way, it and the driver's door. Okay. I don't know why she put by the way in there. He tried to drive off, dragging me with him. I was barefoot and my feet got torn the fuck up, and I'm lucky he didn't run me over. My roomie heard the commotion and called 911 when he saw me being dragged. A guy was pulled over, my phone recovered, and he was thrown in jail for drunk driving. You bet your sweet ass I press charges. fuck you, Sean. You ain't no nice guy. Yeah, fuck you, Sean, you piece of shit. You are fucking trash. Everybody comment, fuck you, Sean. All right? Fuck that guy. If you're in your car right now, be like, hey, fuck you, Sean. That nigga is crazy. He's probably one of the worst career criminals ever. This nigga, man, he took her phone. And then, like, if I was a crazy motherfucker like this, if I was crazy, because for me, I don't do that shit. I don't micromanage my fucking partner. You know what I mean? If there's something I don't like, I'm going to talk to you about it. And if you don't want to do anything about it, cool. We're not being in this relationship anymore. I'm not going to sit here and micromanage my fucking girlfriend. No, that you're a grown ass adult. I don't have to micromanage you. That's ridiculous for you to feel like you have to like be behind your girl, look through her phone, all this crap. No, bro. No. It's either these are my boundaries and you go with them, or we're not in a relationship anymore. Like, fuck out of here with that crap. It's stupid. And you know what I mean? I'm not about to be stressing myself out over my goddamn partner. That's dumb as hell. And so, but if I was one of these weird ass niggas who has to be behind his girl all the damn time, and I took the phone the first time, I would have went over to her house and been like, oh, you know, where could, guess what? Oh, babe, guess what? I found it. Hey, here you go. Like, bro, I don't get it. You made her buy a whole new ass phone. What did you do with the other one? That's what I want to know. Like, what the fuck did he do with the first phone? You just kept that shit? You sold it? Like, what the fuck did you do with it? And then with her second phone, I wonder if she found her first phone with her second phone. That would be crazy. That'd be really crazy. But it's like, why the hell do you have the phone on you? Why didn't you leave it at home? You know what I mean? And then on top of that, I don't know why you didn't think like, yo, you know you can track your phone, right? Like, you know there's Find My Phone, right? Like, bro, what are we doing? Even Androids have that as well. You know, I wouldn't know how to do it with Android, but I know most girls have Apple phones, and obviously I'm sure she did it through Find My. And so it's like, did you not think about that either? I don't know. This nigga was the dumbest career criminal in the entire world, man. Hey, fuck Sean, bro. Fuck that nigga. All right, this is going to be our last one for this wonderful thread. Women, what is your worst nice guy experience? Woo! He picked me up and took me to the beach to get me out of my head, and not be alone with myself after my friend committed self-deletion. But I turned away to stare out at the open ocean, and he came up behind me and started grinding on me. Okay. I told him to stop, and he wanted to go home, as this was just making my mood worse now. Or I told him to stop and wanted to go home, as this was making my mood worse now. Get to my house. He gets out for a hug goodbye and immediately pulls my face up to his and tries to full on make out with me. Thanks for ruining a kind gesture with the assumption of getting laid when I'm grieving my friend's death. Bro. Come on, man. If you would have gave it a couple of days, you probably would have got some booty. You know what I mean? Like, you probably would have got some booty if you waited a couple of days. You know what I mean? You take her to the beach, you know, show her a good time. And be like, hey, you know, talk to me. Tell me how you feel. You know what I mean? You take her to go eat, you know, and then you text her, hey, how was your day? You know, like, come on, man. You could have been that shoulder to cry on. You know what I mean? And then later on, you'd have been the penis to bounce on. You're like, come on, bruh. But nah, you was just like, yeah, I'm going to get her right after the death, right in the prime of her sadness. She's gonna suck my dick. Why? I don't know. Like, bro, what the fuck kind of thought process is that? It's you know what I mean? I'm just saying, it's like, I'm not saying it's 100%, but maybe, you know, if you would have, like, you know, been normal at the beach and then a little supportive or whatever, you know, she might have. You never know. You know what I mean? Like, come on, man. And I understand for her, she's just like, oh, I thought I had like a supporting friend, but nah, that nigga just wanted to fuck. You know what I mean? She's just like, I thought I had a friend, but this nigga just want to fuck me. That's terrible. God damn, man. That's all bad. You ladies get just the worst luck when it comes to us horrible men. We're fucking horrible. We're just terrible, all right? You guys don't need us, all right? You guys don't need us. You're fucking strong, independent black women. You know what I mean? All right. That's going to go ahead and be that thread, man. I hope you guys enjoyed that one. Ladies, if you are listening and you have a crazy ass nice guy story, definitely comment it down below. Love to get it involved. But that's going to go ahead and be that thread. I'm going to shoot through announcements super fast and we'll get right into the book. All right. So patreon.com/My Podcast, get an exclusive episode every single Friday. So as being able to send in your scenarios we feature on the Tuesday and Sunday shows. All right. If you're an audio listener, keep downloading the podcast as well as rating us 5 stars. Helps out a lot. I appreciate all the support that you guys have been showing over this past year and a half. And just in the small amount of time, the 20 fucking 8 days or something like that, 30 days or so, the month we've been in 2025, you guys have been showing a lot of support so far. Appreciate that. I do have some fun and exciting things coming up and changes for the show, so be on the lookout for that. We're gonna have some cool changes coming to the show pretty soon. And so yeah, man, thank you for all the support. You know what I mean? You guys keep me going, and you guys keep me motivated to change the show, make it better, and make it more enjoyable for you guys. So if you guys want to help out even more, then following us on Patreon and downloading, and I don't know why my brain is blanking like a motherfucker right now. Rating us 5 stars as well as downloading. If you want to help out even more than doing all of that, then go ahead and follow us on Instagram, TikTok, as well as YouTube. That helps out a lot, and it's all free. Okay, so without further ado, let's go ahead and get into Haunting Adeline. My brain is kind of mush right now, so I'm going to shut up and get into this book. All right.
Chapter 25. The Diamond.
Can I take you somewhere?
Zaid asks. I've just stepped out of the bathroom from my shower, yanking a brush through my wet, tangled hair. I tear the bristles through a particularly brutal knot, uncaring of the way the strands tear.
Baby, you're hurting your hair. Let me brush it.
Feeling defeated, I slump my shoulders, trudge over to him, and sit on the floor between his spread knees. He takes the brush from me and gently starts running it through the sopping tresses, slowly detangling the mop on my head. It feels nice, but I'm too tired to appreciate it. Another 2 weeks have passed, and it's a constant up and down battle. Turns out one of the men did give me chlamydia, and it only cemented that feeling of filth ingrained deep in my bones. I cried, confessed my diagnosis to Zaid, and then cried even harder when he was nothing but supportive. It's been treated, but that lingering repulsion lingers, sinking its claws deep into my membrane. He's probably used every word in the English language to assure me that I'm not disgusting or that he doesn't see me differently. But it didn't change how I viewed myself. Zaid was right. Happiness is fleeting. However, over the past weeks, he's done everything in his power to help me hold on to any semblance of peace. Finishing with the brush, he sets it down on the bed and gathers my hair together. I nearly choke when he begins braiding it. Where the hell did you learn to do that? I ask. I'm tempted to twist around like a dog chasing its tail, just so I can witness this.
Ruby taught me.
He answers quietly.
There was a young girl that I rescued a few years ago, and she wouldn't let anyone else touch her but me at first. She loved braids in her hair, so I learned how to do them for her. Got pretty fucking good at it, too.
My lip trembles, and I'm forced to suck it between my teeth to keep the sob in. Bastard of a man. Just when I think I can't fall in love with him any more than I already have, he goes and does this shit. There's no denying that he's going to be a great father one day, and though the thought scares me, I don't want anyone else but me to have the privilege of seeing it happen. Oh, I whisper.
Let me see your wristband,
he says. I raise my arm and he drags it off my hand and ties off the braid. Thank you, I murmur, standing and turning to face him. I'm in a weird internal war where I want to crawl onto his lap, but the thought of actually doing it makes me break out into hives. Where did you want to take me?
I want to show you something. Someone, too. But I thought maybe seeing this would help you.
My brows pinch, but I nod, curious about what he thinks could possibly help me. As far as I'm concerned, I'm a lost cause. Hopeless, helpless, and all the synonyms for those words, too. During the 45-minute drive, Zaid tells me all about how he got suspended in high school and almost didn't graduate. It was a senior prank. He glitter-bombed the entire school, and they had to spend the rest of the year surrounded by pink sparkles. One of these days, I'm going to have to make him show me pictures of his younger self. He says he's always had heterochromia, and I can only imagine how much the ladies loved that. Eventually, we pull up to a massive gate with several armed guards standing outside. As soon as they spot Zaid's card, they let him through without hesitation. We drive down a long dirt driveway that leads to what appears to be a mini village. There's a massive, long building in the center with several smaller ones surrounding it. There's also an enormous greenhouse, which is where most of the activity is. People are milling about, carrying baskets of fruits and vegetables. A group of girls walk together, giggling and whispering to one another as they make their way towards one of the smaller buildings. All of them are kids or women that I can see. Where are we?
This is where the survivors go if they don't have a safe home to return to.
My gaze snaps to him, then quickly turns back to my surroundings, taking everything in with a whole new perspective. Really? How many are here?
132 survivors.
He answers, and the fact that he knows the exact number does weird shit to my heart. Shit I didn't consent to. How many people do you have room for? He shrugs casually, parking outside the largest of the buildings.
However many I need to. I own hundreds of acres, so if I need to build another dorm, I do.
I blink. You really are stupid rich, aren't you?
Sure, but it goes back into my organization.
Mouth open in awe, I scan the area, overcome with how peaceful it appears. Are these the only safe houses you have?
No, they're all around the country. Eventually Z is going to expand to other countries, and I'll start building there too, and offer a safe place for survivors.
How do you keep it hidden from Claire?
I've gone through great lengths to make it impossible to trace any of my assets. Everything is under an alias and doesn't tie back to me in any way. There's also an incredible amount of security, and it's a no-fly zone for aircraft. This is the safest place anyone could be. I've made sure of that.
I shake my head, at a loss for words. I remember him saying before that he offers a home to those who didn't have one. But seeing it just cements how incredible Zaid truly is. Aside from his psychotic tendencies, he's doing something that no one has done before.
Come on, baby. There are a couple of people I want you to meet.
I frown, unsure of who that could be, but follow him out of the car anyway. As we're walking down a path, we see Ruby heading toward us, a group of children running behind her, giggling as they try to keep up. When she spots us, she screams in excitement, quickening her footsteps. "Oh my goodness, Addie baby, you look so beautiful," she coos loudly. She immediately embraces me in a warm hug when she's close enough, and for a moment I'm too stunned to react. Eventually, I wrap my arms around her, and embarrassingly enough, I feel a little like crying. She pulls away, crooning over me some more. "Are you coming here to stay, sweetie?" "Oh, no, he was just showing me the place," I answer. "Well, you have to come visit more often. These little kiddos are good for the soul." I smile, peering down at the 3 little girls and 1 boy standing in a circle and babbling to each other. I think I believe her. They're adorable, and I can see how a place like this would be comforting. "I think I will," I say softly. Ruby lets us pass after that, and Zaid directs me inside the greenhouse. I pause, losing my breath as I take it all in. Mist clings to the air, coating the plant life with dew, while bright pops of color break up the never-ending green. It can only be described as a contained jungle, sans the wild animals. Though I almost retract that statement when 2 little boys go zipping past me, laughing wildly with huge turnips in their little fists. A woman chases after them, pleading with them to stop running. Zaid grabs my hand and leads me to where two young women dig at the soil, planting seeds.
Katerina Sanchez.
Zaid calls out quietly, and my heart stops when one girl's head turns to the side. A familiar face staring back at me, though feminine and younger, and one eye is permanently closed. "Oh my God," I whisper, paralyzed as the girl's brows knit, confused on who we are. "Yeah?" she says cautiously. Zaid grins.
My name is Zaid. I haven't gotten the chance to introduce myself yet, but
He abruptly cuts off when the girl rips off her gloves and then proceeds to nearly tackle him into a hug. While surprised, he recovers quickly and wraps his long arms around her, gently patting her back. "You're the one responsible for getting me out?" she says into his chest, her words muffled. "Thank you so much," he chuckles.
I think you should be thanking the woman standing behind you. She's the one who told me to help you."
Without hesitation, the girl turns to me and embraces me in a hug next, squeezing tighter than I expected. Try as I might to hold in the tears, I can't. They break loose and a whimper escapes as I hold her tightly. "Was it Rio?" she asks softly, her voice watery from her own tears. "Yes," I rasp. She pulls back enough to get a good look at my face, her dark brown eye tracing over my features. "How did you know him?" I glance at Zaid, but he doesn't seem bothered by the conversation, even though he wants to murder her brother. He was in the house I was in when I was kidnapped." I clear my throat. "He took care of me and helped me get out." Her lip trembles. "He's not a very good person," she says, and I'm so surprised I laugh. "But he's not a good person because he's such a great brother. He's sacrificed a lot for me." I nod, wiping my cheeks, although it's useless when a few more tears slip free. "I don't think people are black and white, Katerina. But I do know that his love for you is." She smiles and nods, accepting that easily. "They took my eye because he tried to escape from Francesca. I was 10 years old. Our parents had just died the year before, and he was trapped with that evil woman. He never forgave himself, and even though I haven't seen him since, I know he's done everything that's been asked of him so I wouldn't get hurt." "And did you?" I ask. "Did you get hurt again?" She shakes her head, but there's a darkness swirling in her eyes. "Lillian wasn't very nice, but she didn't hurt me anymore." Something tells me that even though she wasn't hurt anymore, other girls were. She was trapped in that house for at least 5 years. I can only imagine the horrors she witnessed. "Katerina, can I ask why they, needed Rio so badly? Enough to use you as collateral? It's something I've been wondering since Rio told me about her. Why would they go as far as holding his sister over his head just so that he would work for them? They could find plenty of men willing to do their bidding if offered the right amount of money." She swallows. I think he was Francesca's favorite." I frown, not really sure what she's getting at. Like, favorite guard, or... She shakes her head, her lips tightening. "I've heard Lillian say nasty things about them. About how much Francesca likes the way Rio tends to her." My mouth pops open, realization dawning. "Oh." Then my eyes widen, another realization hitting. "Oh." Francesca was fucking Rio. But I have a feeling it wasn't mutual. She was raping him, regardless of his compliance, and it sounds like she was quite attached to him. My eyes drift to Zaid, his expression tight. An overwhelming sadness washes through me, muddling my feelings toward Rio further. In a way, he became my friend while I was trapped in that house, and for over 2 months, I was being forced to do things against my will, never realizing Francesca was ordering him to do the same. There's a part of me that still clings to that hate, but it's weakening. He kidnapped me, ruthlessly fed me to the wolves, and stood by while faceless men repeatedly broke me. Yet, he picked up the pieces afterward, gathered them in his hands and carried them to my room, where he meticulously placed them back together, as janky as it was. I want to hate him, but I don't know that I do. Thank you for telling me that, I say softly. Her bottom lip trembles. I know I lost an eye, but I think Rio has lost so much more than I have. I hope he's okay and safe wherever he is. I blink back fresh tears and nod my head. Me too. We let Katerina get back to her gardening after promising I'd visit again, sensing my inner turmoil. Zaid keeps quiet as he leads me to another part of the sanctuary. There are 2 girls tending to chicken pens, plucking the eggs from underneath them. I gasp, coming to a halt when one of them turns and I get a good look at her features. Jillian? I breathe. She turns at her name and her eyes bug from her head. Oh my God, she says, her accent deepening from shock. Then she's hurriedly setting down the basket of eggs and rushing toward me. We meet in the middle, our arms instantly wrapping around each other in a fierce hug. Due to Francesca's mind games, we could hardly stand to look at each other when she and Gloria were sold. But all of that immediately bleeds away now that we're free. My vision blurs, and when we pull away, I can see tears swimming in her eyes too. How are you? I choke out, chuckling when her nose wrinkles. Oh, as good as I can be, which isn't saying much. She answers. I nod. Same. Kinda feels like a slow death. Her lips twist and she shrugs, attempting nonchalance. I feel that too. I've been seeing Dr. Maybell, though, and all this, she twirls her finger, gesturing to this farm, has helped a lot as well, being surrounded by others with similar experiences and having something to keep me busy prevents me from spiraling. I was on the streets before, and parts of me didn't want to be rescued because I'd have to go back to that. So this has really saved me. She glances at Zaid, clearly uncomfortable with her admission, but she only straightens her spine instead of hiding. Sharing feelings is hard.
Happy to help,
Zaid says simply, his face smooth but his orbs glitter with warmth. He's a cold-blooded killer yet easily melts beneath a survivor's hopeful gaze. It impacts him as much as it does me because when you're trapped and terrified, hope is the first thing you lose and the most devastating. So getting it back, that's one of the best gifts we could ask for. My lip trembles and I can't decide if I want to hug her again or turn and smack a large one right on Zaid's lips. I'm incredibly happy for Jillian, and it feels like some of the cracks in my soul mend just a little more. We find a spot by one of the pens and talk for a good hour while Zaid helps the other girl with the chickens, leaving us alone. She tells me a little about her life before she was taken, and I tell her about mine. She made me promise to bring her a signed copy of one of my books, and it honestly tore my heart out as much as it mended it. I miss writing, but I know I'm not ready for that yet. Eventually, we leave Jillian to her work while Zaid shows me around the rest of the small village. There are classrooms for the children, workshops for the elder kids, and plenty of activities to give them all something to work toward. The adults are also taught skills and trades that will allow them to get jobs, along with teaching life skills and giving them the necessary tools to support themselves. Of course, no one is required to leave, but the last thing Zaid wants to do is strip people of their independence. So, those who want to go out and experience the world and lead normal lives are able to do so. There's even a stable with horses offering equine therapy for the survivors. And, of course, there's several on-site therapists, Dr. Maybell being one of them. My memory is a little spotty from when I first came home, but I never forgot her warmth. The few times she visited, she helped more than I realized. And sometime soon, I plan on seeing her again, and more regularly. We spend hours playing with the children and speaking with other survivors. I even met Sarah, the little girl who was still very insistent on Zaid becoming her daddy. His eyes were a warm, gooey mess when they looked over to me while Sarah jumped all over him, and for one insane second, I almost said yes right then and there. He's going to make a great father one day, but that day isn't today. Not when I'm still learning how to pick up the pieces without cutting myself. By the time I get back in the car, I'm overwhelmed with emotion. From getting to see what Zaid built and how fucking beautiful it is, to seeing Jillian and hearing about Rio, I'm a damn mess. Do you still want to kill him? I ask, not bothering to clarify. He knows who I'm talking about.
Yes.
He admits. Even after meeting his sister and hearing that he suffered too, he's silent for a beat.
One person's suffering does not justify the pain they inflict on others.
You're right. But he also didn't have a choice, I argue. Zaid sets his jaw, pulling out of the parking space and heading down the dirt road.
Baby, there's no good answer for this. If you want me to forgive him, that will never fucking happen. He's directly responsible for nearly killing you in a car accident, kidnapping you, and bringing you into a place where you were repeatedly raped and abused. What do you want me to fucking say? He's a victim too, and all's forgiven?
I snap my mouth shut. Just like people aren't black and white, neither are our emotions toward them. Rio caused me a lot of pain, and regardless of the person I came to know in that house, Zaid didn't experience that. He didn't get to know Rio like I did, and the only thing he'll ever see is the man who helped ruin my life. I can't fault him for that, especially when I don't think I'd be so forgiving either, if the roles were reversed. I'm sorry, I say. He sighs.
You have nothing to be sorry for, little mouse.
The gates open for us again, and he pulls out onto the road. Can you take me to one more place? I ask.
Anywhere.
He answers. I hold up my arm, showing him the barcode Rio tattooed on my wrist. I want to get a tattoo. He smiles.
Of my name?
I snort. Keep dreaming, buddy. March 14th, 2022. Zaid tried his best to convince me to get his name tattooed over my wrist, but I told him that's a curse to all relationships. He even offered to get my name tattooed on his ass cheek, and as tempting as that was, I declined. Instead, I got an elaborate rose that completely covers the barcode, the stem wrapping around my arm. I told Zaid that I have my own rose that will never die, and I'm pretty sure his eyes got a little glassy. It's beautiful, and it feels like taking another step in the right direction. Almost all of the women and children at the safe house had barcodes too. Some of them covered, most of them not. Some choose to keep them as a reminder, much like Zaid does with his scars. Others, like myself, want to move on from that part of our lives. And for the first time since I've been home, I feel a little lighter than I did before. It feels a little like healing. Chapter 26. The Diamond.
You bleed so pretty, Diamond, like your body was meant to be cut up by my knife.
I set my trembling hand down, still clutching the knife until my knuckles turn white. Maybe I don't need to make this salad.
Fuck, I know it hurts so good, doesn't it, Diamond? Look at all that blood. My favorite color has always been red, and my God, do you look beautiful covered in it.
A hand brushes across my shoulder, and all of those memories come to life. Xavier is standing behind me, ready to take from me again, and I can't let it happen. I won't survive it. No! I scream, whipping around and sending the knife flying straight toward his face. Does he like the sight of his own blood? I'll show him how glorious it looks on him, too. A hand closes around my wrist, halting my progress, but fuck him. He's not going to stop me, not this time.
Little mouse,
he whispers, and that confuses my brain. Enough for Xavier's face to fade, only for Zaid's to appear. Heart racing and vision blurred with tears, my hand flies open, the knife clattering loudly against the tile. Fuck me, I almost just stabbed Zaid in the face. Eyes widened with shock, the only thing I'm capable of is to stare, unsure if Zaid is an apparition too. He studies me closely, face carefully blank as he lowers my hand.
Careful, little mouse, that's my strongest asset.
Blinking, I finally choke out. Don't ever tell my mother about this. Zaid's brows pinch, and his mouth opens, then closes before finally settling on.
What?
I extract my wrist from his grip, my blood spiking hot from the lingering adrenaline, and now embarrassment. What just happened was entirely dramatic, and if she ever finds out I'm just like her, I'll die. He blinks, amusement filtering in his yin-yang irises.
You'll die, huh?
I nod once, sharply. In absolute misery. His mouth quirks up.
I wouldn't dream of it then.
Sniffing, I nod once more, straighten out my shirt purely just to give my hands something to do other than stabbing people, and then turn, open a drawer, and pull out another knife. Good. He's silent for a beat.
Do you want to talk about the attempted murder that just occurred?
Not really, I answer, chopping off another piece of carrot.
But I do.
I sigh, setting the knife down and pivoting to face him again. Zaid, I think I'd rather talk about my mother trying to convince me that chastity belts were the latest fashion when I was 14 than talk about trying to stab you. Another pause.
Okay, so there's a lot to unpack here, and I'm not sure where to start.
Exactly. Can you believe her? I told her she might as well make the chastity belt into an electric fence, too, so I don't have to suffer through that. He arches a brow, fighting a smile.
Yeah, baby, not dramatic at all.
I shoot him a droll look. You're here. Why are you here? Did you need something?
Just you, little mouse.
Damn it. Why does he have to say all the right things? He knows exactly what he's doing, too, and how much I secretly enjoy it. I narrow my eyes, and he forges on, a slight curl to his lip as he speaks.
Well, I'm not scared of the society. We are currently sitting ducks, and I need to handle a few things with Jay. And there are a few things I need to discuss with you, starting with who put a target on your head.
Claire, right? I ask. Surprise flashes across his face.
How did you know?
She came to visit me. His face smooths into a blank slate, but it's a mirage. Anger swirls beneath the surface, bubbling out through his hardened tone.
What did she say?
Pretty much just bitch-slapped me with the knowledge that she's been the big man behind the screen the entire time. She was there because she knew you were looking for me, and I was going to be handled differently to ensure that you wouldn't find me. He nods slowly.
I'm not going to rush you, but eventually I'll need to know if you saw any...
I want to help. I cut in. It doesn't give me anxiety like I thought it would. Instead, it gives me a sense of relief. When he took me to the sanctuary a few days ago, it changed something in me. Seeing all those survivors getting better, working on healing and seeing them shrouded in all kinds of happy vapors, it shifted something in my chest. It made me realize that's what I really need, a goal, something to work toward that would genuinely make me happy. And now I know what that is. Don't tell me I'm not capable or not ready. I've had a lot of fucking time to think, and I don't want to be this insufferable victim, okay? I don't want to let them win, and more importantly, I need to help. He crosses his arms.
Okay. How would you like to help?
I shrug. I'll tell you everything I know, and if you go out on missions, I want to come. His brow cocks, and his gaze flickers over me before returning to my eyes.
Okay.
He acquiesces again. I'm almost suspicious of how agreeable he is. I was expecting him to lock me in my proverbial tower like Rapunzel. Noting the look on my face, he says,
I'll never treat you like you're helpless or incapable. I've always known how strong you are. So if you want to help, fine. I'm more than happy to bring you along for the ride, baby, but that comes with stipulations.
What stipulations? I ask, growing wary.
We start training again. We'll pick up where we left off, and I'll teach you not only how to defend yourself, but how to fight, too. You need to learn how to use a weapon properly, and so help me God, Adeline, you will not do stupid shit when we're working in the field.
My mouth opens, offended by his accusation. What makes you think I'd do anything stupid? His brow jumps up to his forehead again.
You're going to tell me that confronting your stalker in the middle of the night wasn't stupid?
My teeth click shut. So, maybe he has a point there.
You're brave. Incredibly brave. And a goddamn survivor, and it's admirable as fuck. You have no idea how proud of you I am. But you're also impulsive and reactive, and I refuse to lose you again. Do you hear me? I won't. Which means that you have to listen to me, and you cannot go off and do your own thing because you think you're helping. We're a team, baby. Got it?
I chew my lip, mulling that over. If I've learned anything, it's that I am underwhelmingly out of my league when it comes to this corner of the world. I understand. I agree. I'm not going to pretend like I'm the big bad wolf. Yet. His answering smirk suggests that he is the big bad wolf, and honestly, I'd have to agree. But I won't admit it. His head will blow up, and then I will need to jab that knife in his face just to pop his oversized ego.
Aim for the jugular, not the ear, baby.
Zaid instructs patiently. It grinds on my nerves anyway, and I'm a hair's breadth away from turning the knife on him instead.
Adjust your feet.
He gently kicks one of them back.
You're unbalanced and not holding the knife correctly.
Since I started training with Zaid 3 weeks ago, I've improved, but it doesn't feel like enough. It never does. Before me is a gelatin mannequin with countless stab marks in it, most of them far off from where I'm supposed to be hitting. A reel of people clicks through my head, picturing each one in place of the mannequin. It helps for the most part, but then I freeze up, remembering Sydney's lifeless body beneath me, or the feel of my knife cutting through Jerry's throat. Claws dipped in guilt have me in a chokehold, and I'm growing frustrated with myself. With him. I'm not like him. I can't just kill someone and get over it. I whip around, shooting daggers at him with my eyes instead of my hands. You're so unapologetic for what you've done, for how many people you've killed. How are you okay with that?
Why wouldn't I be?
He challenges, tilting his head with an amused grin. I'd say he looks like a cute puppy, but that would be a lie. He looks like a vicious beast that's been locked up too long and is ravenous. For me, in particular. I don't know. Morals? I say, like the answer is obvious, because it is. Guilt? Remorse?
The very people you want to kill are the founding fathers of society's morals. I killed their expectations of me, and then I sliced open their throats to show them that they would never control me. They will only ever answer for their crimes, and I have no problem being the executioner. If you don't want to do this,
I slash my hand in the air, cutting him off. Don't do that. Don't give me an out.
It's not an out, it's an option. I want you to do whatever you can handle, Addie. If that means staying home, I support you. If that means going on a massive murder spree, I'll be right by your side, baby. You're still having nightmares about Sydney and Jerry and carrying around that guilt for protecting yourself. If you can't learn to accept that, how will you accept taking anyone else's life? Because believe me when I say this won't be self-defense from here on out.
I don't know how to accept it, Zaid. I feel like I'm justifying murder.
Just like I justified stalking you?
He puts air quotes around the word because we both know Zaid was well aware of what he was doing and how wrong it was.
Forcing a gun into that pussy and making you come all over it? Or all the other times you told me no and I did it anyway?
He volleys back. The flush in my cheeks deepens, and my face burns from the reminder of that stupid gun.
Did I know it was wrong? Of course I did, but it clearly didn't stop me from doing it. You need to figure out your morals and what you're okay living with, not what you've been taught, but what you feel in your gut.
So, stalking and assaulting me is written in your book of morals?
No,
he says, his smile widening.
I was obsessed with you from the moment I saw you. All those dark, twisted emotions I felt were the rawest form of who I am. I made the decision to show you that instead of concealing it. I never claimed to be a good person, little mouse, and that was something I decided I could live with, just like murdering a bunch of pedophiles and human traffickers.
I'm pretty sure the people you kill tell themselves the same thing you do to help them sleep at night. I comment dryly.
I'm sure they do.
He agrees easily, taking a step toward me. My breath hitches, but I stand my ground, even as his voice deepens sinfully.
And I'm sure there are many who claim to be good and honest, and that they would be willing to kill me for my crimes against you. But that's the difference. I've never made those claims.
A flush crawls up my face, warming my cheeks beneath his intense stare. You make it sound so easy to just be bad.
I've had a lot of practice.
He has, which raises more questions. I roll my lips, my pulse beating erratically, working up the nerve to ask the question on the tip of my tongue. I'm afraid of what might happen once I do. I've explained to Zaid before that it was going to take me time to get used to some things about him. And now that I've been through what I've been through, all those old feelings are resurfacing. Not the hate or the desire to get away, but accepting and understanding his contradictions and skewed morals. "So what's been stopping you then?" I rush out. Cocking his head, he waits. "From fucking me," I say bluntly. "You didn't stop before. What's stopping you now?" He's silent for a few beats.
"Because I wouldn't be able to live with myself,"
he murmurs, staring at me thoughtfully.
"There would be a very different reaction this time around, you already know that."
I cross my arms, popping out a hip. "Would there?"
"Yes."
he says firmly.
"Do you think if I pinned you to the ground you'd fight me at first, only to end up grinding your pussy into my face because I've awakened something in you? Or do you think you'd fight like your life depended on it, only to end up mentally checking out from the trauma?"
I swallow, the truth tasting like dirt on my tongue.
"You will never hear me call myself a good man, or kind, or even honorable. There is very little left of that in me. And the truth is that it was never really there to begin with. I was born with a blackened soul and good intentions, and there is a difference between those who are needlessly evil and those who do bad things hoping that something good will come out of it. I'll let you decide for yourself which one I am."
He doesn't wait for me to answer. I get the distinct feeling that he wants me to think about it first. He steps towards me and my muscles instantly stiffen. That's when I realize I don't need to think about it at all. Trauma has a tight hold on me, but all I want him to do is hold me tighter.
"You want the simple answer too?"
he asks, his voice deepening, causing my pulse to skyrocket.
"It's because I love you, Adeline Riley, and I know you love me back. When I'm inside you, you won't be thinking of anything else but how to get me deeper. The only fear you'll taste is from a God sending you to heaven too soon."
My heart skids and comes to a crashing halt against my ribcage, giving out on me completely. My knees will be next, and that would be fucking embarrassing. He grins, his gaze turning predatory.
"That won't be the only fear I'll instill in you."
Slowly, he begins to circle me while I stand frozen. His heat presses into my back, and his breath warms the side of my neck. My fight-or-flight instincts are kicking in, and my control over it is slipping.
"You will always be the little mouse, and I will always hunt you. I'll patiently wait until you're ready for me to touch you, but make no mistake, Adeline, it'll still hurt when I do."
An icy chill washes through me at his ominous words, colder than the ghosts who haunt this manor. Before, that might have scared me. Even more, after being hunted by the cruelest of humankind, I should be tired of it. Yet I feel nothing but a small thrill and comfort. Somehow, Zaid has managed to warp our cat and mouse game. Now I find solace in the knowledge that he will always find me. And knowing this, despite me not being quite ready for him yet, it makes me want to run, just so he can catch me. With tension polluting the air, he grabs my hand, spins us around, and points the knife at the mannequin.
"Stop picturing all the people you want to kill and picture the people you have killed. Recreate that night in your head. Replay it over and over until stabbing that knife in their necks feels liberating."
It takes too long to pull my headspace away from the predator standing behind me, but eventually I manage it. The moment that night replays in my head, I want to curl in on myself, remembering how I plunged that pen into Sydney's body until the life was snuffed from her eyes, or slashing my knife across Jerry's neck and watching his eyes bug from his head. I was protecting myself, yet I still carry their deaths on my shoulders as if they were innocent. For the next hour, I continue to struggle. I'm growing frustrated with myself and picking myself apart to figure out why I feel guilty, particularly over Sydney. Is it because she was a victim too? She was forced into the same things I was, enduring the brutality of sex trafficking that ultimately sent her into a psychotic break. Over and over, I turn it in my head until it clicks. Sydney may have been deranged, but she was broken too. She deserved my sympathy, but that doesn't excuse her from her actions. It doesn't give her the right to hurt other people, and it doesn't mean I was wrong for ending her life. Though, with Jerry, Claire, Xavier, and all the others who decided I was nothing more than an object, they don't deserve anything more from me than what they've already stolen. Not my sympathy, remorse, or guilt. It wasn't my decision to be raped and brutalized, but it is my decision to slit their throats for it. As I come up to the second hour, going through the movements with Zaid becomes natural. Sliding the knife into the dummy's neck feels just as he said it would. Liberating. Others may believe it is never okay to take a life under any circumstances. We are not the judge. At one point, I might have even believed that too, but then I came face to face with true evil. People who were not human at all, but vile things that will continue to destroy this world and anything good that inhabits it. Now I realize that choosing to look the other way and let God handle it is a fucking cop-out. It's allowing evil to continue to live because they believe the afterlife is scarier. If it's so scary, then why wait to send them there? Now I realize it's selfish. They're too fucking scared about making it into heaven to condone murder, even if it saves innocent women and children's lives. Doesn't that make them just as evil? Condemning those who are capable of being the executioner doesn't make them better people, it makes them compliant. By the time the third hour passes, I'm panting heavily, sweat pours down my face and back, and I feel invigorated. When I face Zaid again, it feels as if I'm viewing him from a different set of lenses. I wonder if he sees me differently too, and if he'll be able to let go of who I used to be, and love the person I've become. Adeline, I feel as if this house is taxing your mental health, Mom announces with finality, brushing off imaginary lint on her Calvin Klein jeans. It's not very often I even see her in anything other than a dress, skirt, or pantsuit. I feel so special. Why do you say that? I ask, voice monotone and unfucking interested. I'm rocking in Gigi's chair, staring out at the gloomy landscape. It's storming today, and the windows are foggy from the rain. I tilt my head, fairly certain I'm seeing a handprint forming on the window. Aside from the creepy hand, sitting here brings back a sense of comfort and nostalgia, where a different version of myself would stare out the window, my shadow lurking in the darkness and watching me, where I loathed every second of it, yet I would war with the fact of not knowing if I hated it because I was scared or if I hated it because I enjoyed it. Honey, have you seen the circles under your eyes? You can hardly miss them. They're very dark. And on your birthday, no less. This is my mother being sweet, caring, concerned, and frankly, it's fucking exhausting. She's been trying harder to, fix things with me or something since I've come home. Of course, my father has no interest in joining her efforts, but I can't find it in me to care. Her daughter getting kidnapped must have made her realize a thing or two about the state of our relationship and how utterly in shambles it is. Whose fault it is? I'm sure she'd have a different response depending on her mood. But she's trying. Therefore, it's only fair that I try not to kick her out of the house. On my birthday. I'm already exhausted, and it would seem my dark circles are showing now. Zaid woke me up to my bedroom covered in roses and a gorgeous black knife with purple weaved throughout the handle. I'm getting better at handling them, but it's a work in progress, and his present was a testament to his faith in me. Then, Daya wanted to do brunch, and now Mom is here, and I'm ready for a nap. Peopling is still tiring. Concealer will fix it. Maybe you should come stay with me again. Get away from that heathen, I snort, which then turns into a full-out laugh. Something about my mother calling Zaid a heathen is just, funny. True, but funny. My mother is gaping at me as if I've told her I'm shaving my head bald and going to live the rest of my life in a van and smoking hookah. Doesn't sound so bad, actually, except maybe the going bald part. I bite my lip to hold in the laughter, grinning while she only grows more ruffled. I don't see how shacking up with a criminal is funny, she mutters, turning away with an affronted look on her face. What if I'm the criminal? I question. She sighs. Adeline, if he has coerced you to do something... I roll my eyes. He hasn't made me do anything. Mother, chill. And I'm fine, really. I went through something traumatic, obviously, and sleeping doesn't always come easy to me. She shifts on the leather couch, gearing up to say something else, but I cut her off. And I'm good here. In Parsons Manor. Her mouth shuts, a frown tugging down her pink-painted lips. I sigh, a stab of guilt hitting me in the chest. Mom, I appreciate your concern, I do. But it's going to take me a while to get readjusted and back to normal. Normal. Saying the word feels like swallowing a handful of rusty nails. I'll never be normal. I don't think I ever was. And if anyone could attest to that, it would be my mother, the woman who's called me a freak most of my life. She's quiet for a moment, staring down at the checkered tile and lost in whatever hurricane is sifting through her skull and ready to come out of her mouth. I've always felt like storms raged through her head since her words were always so fucking destructive. Why didn't you tell me about him? She asks quietly. She lifts her head to look up at me, her crystal blue eyes swirling with hurt. I can't decide if the sight of it twists the guilt deeper or if it makes me angry. Because you've never made me feel safe enough to tell you anything, I answer bluntly. Her throat works, swallowing that bitter pill. Why did you need to feel safe to tell me about him, Addie? She asks, her sculpted brows pinching. I mean, if he were normal, it shouldn't have been a big deal. If he were someone you met in a bookstore or at one of your events or even in a grocery store. She pauses. Why did you need to feel safe? I roll my lips and turn back towards the window. Addie, does he hurt you? My neck nearly snaps from how quickly I turn back to her. No, I say sternly, though that's not entirely true. Did he hurt me? Yes, but not how she's thinking. He would never lay a finger on me out of anger. The type of pain Zayd delivers is unorthodox, and while there's always been a part of me that enjoys it, it still hurts. Yet, I crave it anyway. Then why? I sigh, debating on how much I should say. He kills people for a living? Too much. He stalked me? Would never live that one down, no matter how guilty she feels. So I just settle with the truth. The part that doesn't announce him as a psychopath with a bit of an attachment issue. He saves women and children from human trafficking, Mom. He's very deeply involved in that dark corner of the world. She sucks in a sharp breath, her spine snapping straight and her eyes widening with outrage. Is he the reason you were kidnapped? No, I snap. He is not why, and you need to remember that he saved me. I would not be here, be alive, if it wasn't for him. She shakes her head in confusion and asks, then why were you? If he's involved with the same people. I shrug, feigning a nonchalance I don't feel. There were many factors, but none of them were his doing. That's all that's important. She sighs, a sound of both frustration and acceptance. Is he dangerous? Yes, I admit. But not to me. He loves me, and not only that, he loves me for who I am. He's never wanted to change me. She flinches at the dig, but refrains from defending herself this time. Just because he loves you, that doesn't mean he's good for you, she says with finality. I purse my lips, considering that for a moment. What is good for me then, Mom? You know best, right? A real stand-up guy that's a lawyer or doctor. Don't be obtuse, she snips. How about someone like a police officer who only carries a gun because they're protecting people? I cut in. Because you think they're protecting people. You really want to get in that debate right now? And wouldn't you say Zayd is doing the same by rescuing innocent people from being kidnapped and enslaved? She tightens her lips, clearly still in disagreement, but not willing to keep arguing. That's a first, but I don't expect it to last. This time, I'm the one sighing. I throw myself back in the chair. I don't want to fight about him with you because it's not going to change anything. I know him better than you ever will, and if you want to hate him, fine. But do it where I don't have to hear about it, I say, tiredly and resolutely. I'm too exhausted to keep fighting with her. That's all we ever do, and it got old over a decade ago. Fine, she huffs, irritated and contrite. Let me take you to a nice dinner for your birthday at least. Can we do that? No talk about your boyfriend. I stare at her, and the tightness in my chest eases a little. Smiling, I nod my head. That sounds good. Let me get ready. I stand and head towards the stairs when she calls out, "Don't forget the concealer, honey. You need it." April 7th, 2022. I think Mom could tell I was anxious to be out of the house again. Halfway through the dinner, she finally broke down and made some comment about getting medication, and I told her that I'd rather smoke weed. Of course, she broke her promise and asked if Zaid is the one supplying me the marijuana. I told her I'm the drug dealer, loud enough for the waiter to hear, so she chewed her food extra hard the entire dinner, irritated and embarrassed by my jokes. I got a kick out of it, though. Eventually, she realized that and relented, laughing with me when the waiter wrote his phone number on the receipt. She thinks he wants sex. I think he just wants free weed. Well, maybe sex too, but definitely free weed. Regardless, it felt good to laugh, and I have a feeling my mom will let me get away with a lot of shit now just to see me smile again. And the fact that she's even putting in that effort, well, it makes me smile.
All right. And that has been chapters 25 and 26 of Haunting Adeline. Hope you guys have enjoyed today's episode. Hope you guys enjoyed the chapters. Boy. It's getting good. It is getting good. I was expecting, I ain't gonna lie, I was expecting some sex in this one. I was like, our boy Zaid, you know what I mean? He was going to try to get it, but I understand. You know what I mean? I understand what he's doing. I'm glad that we kind of get to see a little more of his character and background, as far as like how rich this dude is and, all the shit that he does behind the scenes. That's kind of really cool that they're digging deep into that. But I'm excited to see where else this book goes. Hope you guys enjoyed for today. I will see you on Friday if you're a Patreon. I will see you on Tuesday if you're a free 99 lover. So with that, I will see you guys later. Peace.